Cause know I got it. If a bitch get wrong, she gon' find somebody. If a nigga hit my phone, he gon' find I'm a good girl. If you try to play me, you gon' find I'm a hood girl. I wish a nigga would, girl. I don't play about my respect. I'ma get it like a check. Any minute, I got.
Hi everybody, I'm Quintana, and today I just want to come to you guys with a few, sorry about that, a few tips and tricks to help you guys get through and not so much dread your menstrual cycle, whether it's due to endometriosis or just cramping or what have you. This is for women, like I said, who experience those things, or even for young girls who have not had those talks or have nobody to talk to about it, or just are scared to talk to people about it. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about that time of my life. When I first started, I was 13 years old, and I remember just my stomach hurting really, really bad. I ended up laying on my mom's friend's kitchen floor, and we didn't know what was going on, but her friend suggested, hey, well, maybe she's about to start her cycle, and that's exactly what it was. I do remember her, she had a daughter, a grown daughter, and I remember her telling me this story about how on her 13th birthday at school, she started her cycle at school in front of everybody, and she got so embarrassed. And when I tell you, that story stuck in my head for life, to the point where I wore a jacket around my waist for like my whole adolescence, middle school, high school, and still sometimes to this day, because I'm so terrified to start my cycle and not know what's going on. Luckily, when I was younger, I would always have horrible cramps before I actually start flowing or anything like that, so I never had to worry about starting my cycle and not knowing. I always had horrible cramps and had time to prepare. I'll tell you, I hated my time of the month so bad. I used to look up any type of way that I could stop it, and that so I looked up birth controls that would stop it. But most of the birth controls that stop it, you first have to be on your cycle for a long period of time. And I hate it so much, to the point like I wouldn't even be able to deal with being on my cycle for 3 months straight. No, I could never deal with that. I would lose my mind. Also, I'm already anemic, so it might actually kill me. I don't know. I thought about the Depo shot, because my mom had taken it and it had stopped her cycle. I even saw an episode of Mari one time where a girl was like, I even want to take the shots to stop my cycle. And I'm like, wait, what? There are shots to stop your cycle? Little did I know those were the testosterone shots. So absolutely not. I never got on birth control. My cycle also wasn't regular, so I was recommended to get on birth control, but it just never really sat right in my spirit, luckily, because we do know that birth control is not really good for you. Your body wants to reproduce, and anything that is stopping that process is harming the natural biology of your body, honestly. I just noticed that my cramps were just really bad. I didn't know anybody who had cramps like me. Turns out that I had endometriosis, and it really caused me to have debilitating cramps, to the point where sometimes I just can't move or go anywhere on the first day of my cycle. My cramps would only be on the first day of my cycle, no other day. I'm glad, because if there were several days, I don't know what I would do. Let me put this in perspective for you. I had my daughter naturally. I didn't do what's the shot in your back called, epidural or anything. When I tell you my contractions and my menstrual cramps were literally the same, like to the point where like they hurt, but it was bearable because how bad my cramps were. And also I took they did induce my labor as well. So if you know anything about pregnancy, or if you've had kids, if you're looking at this and when they induce your labor, the contractions are worse than regular contractions. They hurt, of course. They were excruciating, but so are my period cramps. So literally, endometriosis definitely prepared me for a natural birth, I promise you. So I started off taking a leave to try to help it. As soon as I felt the cramp, I would pop 2, 3 a leave. That would take hours to work. But then eventually it stopped working. And then I moved on to taking hydrocodone. Hydrocodone are not prescribed for, menstrual cramps, but those were literally the only thing that would help me. I would take half usually. Sometimes the half would still leave really lingering aching type of cramp, and that would be almost worse than the regular cramp for whatever reason. So I would have to take the whole thing. I've never been big on medicine, so I did not like taking hydrocodone. I understood the hydrocodone are really bad for you. And again, because I'm not a medicine person, I like to do things as natural as possible. And I took the hydrocodone once every month that one day, but it got to the point where I'm like, I know these are habit forming, and although I wasn't forming a habit for them, I knew that they were habit forming. I was scared to form that habit. So I can't remember how I came across it, but one day I came across organic raspberry leaf, red raspberry leaf. This supports healthy menstruation and tones the uterus. Raspberry leaf has been a girl's best friend for thousands of years, used for daily cycle support, menstrual cramps, and during pregnancy to help prepare the womb for childbirth. I found that it helped stop my cramps. The instructions say pour 8-ounce freshly boiled water over 1 tea bag. Personally, because my cramps are so bad, what I would do is make a really strong, tonic type. It comes in these little packets, right? So what I would do is take, it recommends 8 ounces of water per tea bag, but I wouldn't do that. I would use 8 ounces of water or less and put 2-3 tea bags in there. I need this to be really strong to knock out my cramps, and I promise you, first time I used it, it knocked out my cramps in probably less than 30 minutes. I almost cried. And it tones your uterus, so in the long run, it helps you cramp less. And I really noticed the difference over the years. Now I've had a baby and everything, and I did also use this during my pregnancy too. And I had my daughter natural. So if you guys want me to, tell you my story about my natural birth or whatever, I can do that too. Just let me know in the comments below. But I also used this for my pregnancy, but I used it, but I had it on hand already because I used it for my cramps and for my cycle. So I recommend making a really, really strong cup of this, 2-3 tea bags per 8 ounces. Now, I know you guys, you think of tea with sugar and stuff like that. If you really need to sweeten it, I suggest honey, not sugar, because sugar can also worsen your cramps. Caffeine can also worsen your cramps. Yes, that includes chocolate. Chocolate, although it's something you crave during your cycle, is not really good for you during your cycle because it can increase your cramps. This is a non-caffeinated tea, so you don't have to worry about that. But Coca-Colas, Dr. Peppers, things like that are not good for you during your cycle. They can increase your cramps. And just in general, diet definitely contributes to how bad you're cramping because your cycle is like a cleanse. When I was vegan, my cycle was so much different. I didn't cramp, and it was reduced down to red meat and meat intake. It's definitely going to contribute to how heavy you flow in your cramps because, again, the cycle is like a detox of your body. So you definitely want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water on a daily basis. I found that drinking water, when I was drinking 8 glasses of water a day or however much water, as long as it was, a decent amount for my body weight, that my cycles were a lot easier. Alcohol. Anytime I've drinking alcohol, right before my cycle or on my cycle, it's made my cramps worse. Again, because the alcohol dehydrates you. So, again, that's that water intake. You have to make sure that you're drinking your water to stay hydrated. When I changed from regular old cheap pads or even more expensive pads that were still bleached and stuff like that, I noticed a huge difference. My issue was, again, I hated how pads felt. They felt like diapers. I felt like I had to walk like this. So I wanted something more comfortable, something that I couldn't feel, something that would make me forget that I was on my time of the month. And so I changed over to menstrual cups. First I tried soft cups. They helped me a lot, but eventually, I don't know, they kind of started to hurt me, so I switched over to the Diva cup. And I love it. Honestly, it is a learning curve. It takes a minute to get used to. It's a lot more hands-on, honestly, but it's doable, and it literally makes you forget. You can't feel it. If you insert it right, you cannot feel it. Again, if you insert it correctly, you don't have any leakage or anything, and it's awesome. Literally, it's my savior. The Diva Cup and this tea saved my life, really, because otherwise I'm ready to jump off a bridge during that time of the month. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Definitely make sure, guys, that you guys are investing in some quality sanitary napkins, cotton, unbleached, organic sanitary pads if you're going to use those. Same thing with tampons. If you're going to use those, make sure that they're good quality. I drink this tea as well. She has it's a Goddess collection. She has a endometriosis eliminator tea and a Cramps Be Gone tea as well. It is loose leaf, so you will have to get a strainer if you want to drink this tea. I drink this tea daily, not necessarily this one, because this is called the Baby Boom, but I have several of her teas, and I can make a video exclusively about her teas and how they've helped me in different ways. But honestly, guys, this tea helps you even over time. The more you drink it, the more it tones your uterus to the point where eventually your cramps are, as long as you're still drinking it, your cramps are like non-existent or like very, very faint. Like it literally heals you over time. So it's not just like a quick fix medicine. It's literally going to heal your uterus over time if you have endometriosis. So even drinking these teas over time has helped me to the point where now I don't, like my last cycle, I didn't cramp at all, honestly, which was scary because, like I said, my fear is to start my cycle and not know it's happening. So it was scary. Luckily I was at home, but at the same time, like, who wouldn't want to not cramp? Like, guys, that's a dream come true. So you definitely want to get this organic red raspberry leaf tea. It is available in Walmart. At first it was only in like Earth Fare and Whole Foods. Now you can find it in Walmart. Remember, it's organic. It's not raspberry tea, not raspberry flavored tea, guys. It's organic raspberry red leaf tea or red raspberry leaf tea. Make sure it's red raspberry leaf, not raspberry flavored tea. There's a big difference. Raspberry flavored tea. There's a big difference. Like I said, I recommend not drinking it with sugar, just a little honey, if any. I don't drink it with any sugar or any honey at all. I have honey just in case when I was a beginner, but now I have so much of this tea, and I got a cup of it sitting up there right now. Also, I wouldn't recommend drinking it super hot because super hot tea is not good for your body, contrary to popular belief. Room temperature or body temperature tea is good. What else I was going to say? If it is too hot, though, what I recommend doing is sitting it right on your uterus like a heating pad. I did that, and, you know, it's just like a heating pad. You sit it right on your uterus, right on your pelvis, and it kind of helps with your cramps in the meantime. But, yeah, these are just a few tips that I came across, you know, in my years of being a woman, you know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I really hope you guys like this video, and actually press the like button, the thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and comment below on some more stuff that you want to see. And thank you so much.
I wish a nigga would, girl. I don't play about my respect. I'ma get it like a chick.